Okay, good morning, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank Ms. Praveena for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I'm Dhanya, the primary school coordinator of Manchester International School. And I also want to thank Ms. Saranya Chandrasekhar, who suggested this topic to me. So let us get into the topic. So today I'm going to present about emotional well-being in schools. So how to develop the emotional well-being in a holistic way at schools. And if you see at my slide, there is a logo, emotional well-being. It's goal number 3 in UN SDG, which is very much important to be achieved because most of the times we don't give importance to our emotional well-being, and that is where we lag in everything else. So today we are going to see in detail what emotional well-being is and how to tackle all those problems, that cause emotional well-being. So emotional well-being is nothing but it is a person's ability to understand what we are going through now and how to manage it and how to express it in a proper way. So normally when we get angry, we would have seen many people who once they, are furious, they throw out things here and there. That is not a healthy way of expressing the emotions. Of course, it is a way of expressing, but that is not healthy. So we should teach the community on what are the ways to make it understand what we are going through, how to manage it, and how to present it in a healthier way. So we should be also able to be resilient. It encompasses of balancing our emotions, and even when we face the challenges of our life, even we are at risk. That is the time when we have to come back properly, right? So how to manage that stress? So that is what emotional well-being is. Now, why this well-being is really important is, according to the recent survey, over 70% of the students have reported of, facing anxious. They feel anxious every time. There are different reasons behind that. And also, more than 50% of educators are feeling burnout. So there are different factors also that affects that. So that is the problem, why emotional well-being has to be taken care of. It matters really. You cannot only give importance to academics alone, but at the same time you have to give importance to your emotional well-being. So here you can see on the screen a formula of what emotional well-being is. It is nothing but you have to manage your emotions. At the same time you have to be resilient, and you have to look at the emotion in a proper positive way. You don't have to feel negative about it, because every person, every human goes through this phase. So this too shall pass. And so you have to be resilient about it, how to come back from a problem that has to be taken care of. So today we'll be focusing on, once we understand how to take care of the emotional well-being, students will be able to better focus on their academics or their personal life, and their social skill will get developed. Holistically, they will be developing. Also, in the point of educators, they should feel the burnout being reduced. You cannot take off that burnout. It happens at times, but we can reduce it. Also, they should be knowing how to properly balance their work life. That is more important. That is the main case where educators feel burnout. So today we'll be looking into that. Now, if you look at the Venn diagram here, emotional well-being is both important for students as well as educators. You cannot imbalance it. If the educator is very much good at handling the emotional emotions in the class and the students are not, it's not going to produce a good result in any way. The same happens when students are good in handling their emotions, but the educators are down. That is not going to help. So it is a balance of both. Both the educators and students should be able to tackle their emotions in a proper way. So as you can see a quote here, emotional well-being is as important as we give importance to the academics. You can get good academics only when their emotional well-being is at place of both educators and the students. Now, what are the challenges faced by students? Mainly assessments, the assignments given to them, back-to-back assignment, back-to-back homework. For them, everything is a stress actually. That to the recent generation, Gen Z kids, they face this issue a lot. We manage it somehow, but today's generation is facing it as a big issue. So they too feel burnout. They too feel the pressure of expectations. As an educator, when I go to the class, I want my students to get good marks, or I want everybody to understand the topic the moment I teach them. But if you see, all the children are unique in the class, so it affects, when I put up an expectation in my class. Of course, as an educator, it is my duty to say that this is what I'm expecting, this is what the achievement you have to have. But I should also look at the way that whether they are understanding it or not, what I'm teaching, if they are able to understand the way I'm delivering it. So that creates a pressure in the students. So that itself is a, added burden to them. So that is how they are facing the pressure. One is academic pressure, next is pressure of bullying. So bullying doesn't only come from their friends or peers in the class. It also comes when one judges the other person. As a teacher, I should not be judging my student when they present their emotions to me. That is not the right way of treating it. So bullying is also a big, setback for them. And emotional literacy gaps are there. Emotional literacy gaps are nothing but where the student is not able to, speak up what they are going through. For example, if you ask a child what is bothering you, the child may not be able to say it exactly what is bothering them. They may be like saying that I am sad, I am depressed. Nowadays, I have seen even grade one kids using the word depressed. They may be depressed, but we take it lightly. So there is an emotional literacy gaps in the student. So what happens if we are not addressing all this is either the child will, express the emotions in a unhealthy way. That is, they will outburst it in a different way, or they will withdraw themselves from everything else. So you would have seen a child who is very happy, who has been very happy, who has been very active. Lately, the child would have been, sad and not participating in anything, not showing interest. That is the reason. That is the symptom of, withdrawal actually. So that is to be addressed. This is the challenges faced by the students. Now, if you look at the educators feel the burnout because of long working hours. Now, this long working hours is nothing but, of course, we work in a school, maybe 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, whatever it is. But post COVID, the scenario is like we were working online, not only for educators, this is for all the sectors. Everybody, we started using online technology. So as the technology took place, what happened is we are conveniently, messaging each other. The managers may be messaging their workers, or we will be messaging the colleagues, whatever it is. So this has created an expectations in both the sides. So what happens is educators, most of them feel that they are working 24 bar 7. So that is creating a burnout. Again, they would have set a benchmark for themselves, but that benchmark now they may be not able to, give it up. So that creates a case of procrastination in their tasks. Then emotional demands. For example, I'm going through something at home. I may not know how to handle it, and I show that emotion in the class. That is not going to work out. It will affect the class dynamics. Next is work life balance. This we all go through actually. Work life balance, we may not know where to balance, when to balance. Okay, so as much as importance we give to the academic of our students, or as much as importance we give to the school, the same importance we have to give it to the family members, because once we lose certain moments in the family, we cannot get it back. I have faced this a lot actually. So at that time, I didn't realize what is it actually. But as time passed, I understood that I should have been available for the family members. So you should be able to know how to balance it, when to balance it, and where to balance it. So this is one of the criteria that educators go through. It is a big challenge that they face. Now, systemic challenges is they lack, most of the schools or most of the organizations lacks in this mental health resources of having a sen educator at school or a counselor at school. So they don't know where to go and speak up. They and also they feel that talking about emotions is a stigma. It is not a stigma. We share everything about our physical health the same way we can share about our mental health. So we should be open. There should be someone to listen rather than someone giving advices. Nobody seeks advice at times. They want someone to listen to the people. So educators go through all of this burnout, and emotional demands are not met, work life balance is imbalanced actually. So this is what the challenges faced by the educators. Now, to build a holistic development in emotional well-being, the main thing we have to focus is not only on emotions, but we have to take care of our social well-being. We have to be open with our peers. We have to be open with our colleagues. We have to be friendly with them. We have to try to be social with them. Positive relationship should be there. And physically, I should make myself fit. If I'm not physically fit, that health will bother me. And again, that gives a setback on my emotional health. So I should be exercising whatever way I want. I can do anything that makes me fit or that keeps me fit, exercising and having a proper food, sleeping. The most of the educators I've heard that they only sleep for 4 to 3 hours, or that is so less. Now we may not understand the impact, but later on, when we grow old, it will definitely impact us, and also it affects our work and family life. So sleeping for 8 hours is must, and having a proper diet is also must, and working out is also must. And mentally, if you see, you have to have a mindful practice of meditating and being in that situation at that point of time, not being absent-minded or thinking of past and regretting certain things about what we did. I should have done this. I should have spoken this. Nothing like that. Never regret of doing anything. Everything is a lesson for us, and everything is an experience. So you have to be healthy in all these four ways: emotional, physical, social, and mental. These are the key pillars of bringing in a holistic, emotional well-being. Now, the strategies that we can apply in the classroom dynamics are: you have to have a emotional literacy. For example, you can have a 20 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes of activity in the classrooms where you start with that activity on a daily basis. So every school definitely they have circle time. Most of the schools nowadays have that, especially in the primary, school. They have this practices of circle time. But I would recommend that the whole school should have the circle time. Like from grade 1 to grade 12, they should have this where they build this social and emotional learning into their curriculum by doing certain activities like journaling. You can have a gratitude journal every day morning. You also can do as an educator. Like when you wake up, the moment you wake up, you can be thankful to someone. You can feel that I'm thankful to this, that I have a food to eat, I have a good dress to wear, I have a proper place to live in, right? We have to be feeling that gratefulness to everybody. So starting the day with that, and you can have meditation in your class, by breathing exercises. You can ask the kids to concentrate on the breathing instead of thinking about other assignments or tests or whatever it is. So then peer support, you can build a buddy system inside your class where one student supports the another. For example, in a class of 20 members, all the 20 will not be a socially good student, right? There are students who are very shy, there are students who are very much outgoing. So you can have those students collaborate with each other to bring up that mindfulness practices. And you have to provide a safe space to the kids. Now, safe space in the sense, as a teacher, I should not be judging my student when that student is sharing his or her personal emotions or problems to me. I should not be judgmental. Once I'm judgmental, never that person will share any problem to me, and I will not be able to solve it unless the student is sharing the emotions with me. So I should create a safe space at home as well as at school. Then, as I told you, gratitude journaling, storytelling about how they are feeling, role playing inside the classroom. Like you can assign some roles of some moral values or being feeling empathetic towards some situation. So, if they show that role play in the classroom, it will definitely help the students. And kindness chain. Kindness chain is nothing but it is a small activity where in chits you will write some good points, positive points, and you make a chain. Daily, the student can pick that and do that activity. For example, today you thank someone whom you like the most, or praise someone, praise a teacher or something like that. So it's an appreciation note kind of thing for the student. So these are the activities or strategies you can practice inside the class so that the emotional well-being is met. You can at least understand what the students are going through currently. So it will take only 5 to 10 minutes in a day. So daily, if you practice this, the emotional well-being, the standard of that will be little high in the class. As a teacher, you will also know where the students are, what they are feeling on a daily basis. Now, when we talk about the educators, we should first have a professional development where we tell them how to, share their emotions with each other. As I told you, it is a stigma. It is treated as a stigma where I cannot talk about my emotional well-being. So it's nothing like that. You can share what you feel to anyone you want. Only if they trust us, they can share that. So we have to maintain that connect between, the colleagues or the leadership teams. And you have to have a workshop on emotional intelligence, how to cope up with your emotional well-being, or what are the strategies you can practice for that. And every teacher and or every staff member in a education sector should be practicing the self-care routine. They should take time to prioritize their health. That is where we they never prioritize our health. Health is the first thing, so we have to prioritize that. Then you have to take a break once you feel that you are reaching a saturation point. everyone definitely in our lives, we would have reached a saturation point where we wanted to run away or take a break. Take a break. Definitely, we want that break. Nothing is going to happen if we keep continuing on that particular field. So you have to take a break. And I request everybody to pursue your hobbies or passion. No matter what your hobbies or passion is, you have to pursue that. You have to take time for yourself. Me time, that should be there actually. And you have to have a collaborative support in the schools. For example, as I said, you this send educators in the class or the counselors in the school every week or every day. Whoever is going through some emotional baggages, they should go and share, they should go and speak with them, so that at least their emotional needs are met. We cannot hold back certain things, right? So they should be able to reach someone at school, counselors. So the counselors also can visit the classrooms or the teachers on a daily basis or a weekly basis to check on their emotions. Okay. And work life balance, we have to set a boundary. We need to teach the staff members on how to set a boundary. Like, you cannot work for 24 bar 7. That's not going to work. That's the point where we reach the saturation. So that's not needed. Once you go home, take care of your family, come next day with a fresh mind, right? So that has to be taught. And reflective journals, right? They have to write a journal on a daily basis. So once they, are about to go home, before that, they can have a note with themselves, what they did today, how they felt about it, what can be done. If the day was not good, what can be done to rectify that? So that will give them an idea of how to tackle with the emotions. And appreciation notes. So, for example, when we conduct a meeting or when we call for a meeting, it can start with an appreciation note for someone. So they feel happy about it. When someone appreciates us, we do feel happy as a person, right? So it should be starting with an appreciation note. We should appreciate them for the things they are doing. So that will create a positive environment for the educators. So these are some of the strategies we can use. Then, as a leadership team, what the schools can take steps in is you have to incorporate mental health policies in the school. So, mental health policy is nothing but first is having a counselor in the school. Next, they have to have a guideline. Like, once a child is entering the school, we have to have an observation about the child and the educator, and we have to maintain a record of both, and then we have to, deal with that. For example, a child is going through something or a educator is going through something, we have to have a counseling session for them. That's not a bad thing. Now people think that when I go and talk about counselors or therapists, it's not a bad thing at all. When we get sick, we go to the doctor. When we fall sick, we consult with the doctor. The same way, it's like that. You don't have to think it as something that has to be kept secretive. So you have to teach the staff members about that and the school also. And you have to train the staff in such a way how to manage the emotional crisis. For example, as an educator, if I don't know how to deal with my emotions, I'm not a good person to go to the class and ask the students to deal with their emotions. I cannot address that unless I am able to do that. So I should be taught, or the education sector should be taught on how to deal with the crisis management. So writing a note, writing a journal of what we are going through, talking to someone who is a good listener. All this will help in, bringing down the points or the factors that is affecting us a lot. And regular mental health check-ins, this is what I was talking about. So weekly ones or monthly ones, you can have the counselor going into the class for students and meeting the staff members individually to find out what they are currently feeling. So this will help us in taking out their problems, giving a solutions to them. And building a culture of care. Now you have to have people who treats us like one among them. The person who is go very much emotionally down, or we say that this person is too sensitive, I cannot handle. It's not like that. That is, that should be met actually. Sensitive needs has to be met. So we should be including that staff member of that child. We should not be letting them out, or they should not feel ignored. That is affecting. That is going to affect their emotional needs. And also we should treat them with respect, and we should be practicing empathy in the schools. We should uh, you know think from their perspective what the person is going through. We cannot judge immediately, right? We should think from that person why the child or the educator is behaving in such a way. So counselors should be doing this. So as a leadership team, as a management, the schools has to take care of these following things. And this is some of the strategies that the schools can follow. In the class, you can have a chart with different emotions being set out there. And if you see, there is an infinity symbol where the child has to trace that infinity symbol where it says breathe in and breathe out. So 5 to 10 times when a child is going through a kind of, stress, you can ask the child to go through this. You can have this in the table of each child so that it is helpful for that particular child to do that. And you can ask the adult as teachers or whoever it is, whoever is listening to this, can have an app installed in your mobile. There is an app called Mood Meter, or there is an app called How I Feel Today. So it asks for our, moods. How do I feel today? So you can set an alarm for that, or it will notify you that you have to enter what you feel for that particular day. Why did you feel that way? What did you do to take care of yourself? Did you go and speak with someone? So it will ask a lot of questions to you, and by the end of the week it will give you a report, right? So this will be really helpful. And then peer led mental health club. So we have different kind of clubs in the schools and organizations. So I recommend everybody to have a club where it will address this kind of issue, where a mentor is there for us who can talk to us, or we are able to freely discuss about what we are going through without any judgment. So this can be followed in schools, and this is one of the examples. So this is a wheel, emotional wheel. We call it as emotional wheel. This also you can have it in the table of a child for each child, or you can have it commonly in the class, even for teachers and for students. So every day the child rolls this, spins this. What happens is it shows what the child feels. Or in each period, when a teacher enters the class or leaves the class, the teacher can ask the child, just spin it. I would like to know what you feel about the class, or what you feel, what are you going through. So this also helps me in keeping a track of how the child feels. So I can help the child. And on the right hand side, you can see this is the How I Feel app. So this asks you how you feel on that particular day, whether you are highly energetic and you are enthusiastic to do all the tasks, or I have high energy but I'm not feeling like doing anything. So this will give you a report about how you feel and how well you can manage your emotions. Now it is a time for all the education sectors to call for actions as leadership team or as a management. So emotional well-being should be given a priority. It should not be set back, right? For example, in olden days, nobody knew what emotional well-being is. We only targeted on academic development and only those things. But we missed out, addressing the issue of emotional well-being, emotions of the students, mental health of the students, mental health of the teachers. But this is very important. Unless mental health or emotional well-being is on place, you cannot address other issues. So that is very much important. And you can have small practices at school, like a small, time get together where you talk about your week, how you felt, what the child answered, or how the child behaved in the class, what affected you the most, what was so challenging for you, so that the other team members will come to know how to tackle that or what you are going through right now. And for students, students should be taught to reach the counselor and the teachers openly. They should be able to discuss about their emotions. Now primary school kids, they are freely talking about their emotions, they are able to tell that. But the higher grade students, they feel it as a stigma, they cannot openly share it. They feel that if I share that I'm emotionally down, people will start judging me. So that's because we didn't provide that safe environment for them. You have to create a safe environment by talking to them, and you have to celebrate the emotional growth of each kid and each person in the school community. That is very much important. So what I would like to say that everybody should create a place where we strive and thrive emotionally and mentally. So this is what I would like to tell all the educators and students. Kindly and please, it's a kind request that you pay attention to your emotions properly, prioritize your health, and please, have a proper work-life balance. So this is what I wanted to say. So thank you so much. That is the end of
Thank you,
this,
Dhanya.
slide. Yes,
Yeah, if you
ma'am.
can stop sharing your screen, ma'am, the audience can have a
Yes,
better view.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So has it stopped, ma'am?
No, not yet, ma'am.
Not yet? Okay.
No.
Just give me a moment.
Yes. So request the participants since Ms. Dhanya has finished talking. If you have any questions, please unmute yourself and please start asking the questions. Ms. Binu, Chandrakala, Deepa, Kirti, Mamta, Priya, Shamya, Swati, anyone? Okay. Please unmute yourself if you have any questions. Otherwise, Ms. Danya, a couple of questions are there from my side. I would like to ask
Yes,
you.
yes,
You
yes.
have covered everything pretty much. The measuring progress, ma'am. Like, how can schools measure whether their emotional well-being initiatives are working? You spoke about the emotional well-being of students and the teachers, and you have mentioned about some apps too. But does the schools measure with the apps, or do they have any different way?
No, actually, ma'am, when we have a counselor at school, they will have assessments of each child coming into the school and the child who is already there in the school. So they will have a questionnaire kind of thing where they will assess the students based on different aspects. So that will help them to understand where the child is and what the child is going through right now. So that will help them to measure what the child's emotional well-being is up to. This is applicable for both the educators as well as for the children.
So the feedback also matters, right?
Yes, yes, yes. Feedback matters, and definitely, ma'am, we have to discuss this with the parents too. We have to address this if we find there's some issue with the kid, like the child will not be able to open up to the parents as well. So sometimes the child opens to the teacher. So as a community, as a school and learning community, it is the duty of the counselor and the school to share what the assessment tells about the child. So that will help the parents also to understand.
So is it one way or how the schools involve parents in promoting emotional well-being in
Yes,
school?
yes, 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 ma'am, yes. Because in
Um,
olden days, if you see, there were no kind of, assessments given to the students, or there were no counselors at all. Counselors were outside. But now every school, most of the schools have the SEN educator, social and emotional needs educator, who is in the school as a full time, who addresses all these issues.
so in some instances, parents also need support for their emotional well-being.
Yes,
So
yes, 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 yes.
how can schools encourage parents to prioritize emotional well-being at home?
We have to have a orientation session with the parent first of all. We need to talk to them because the whole community, the whole world, most of the world, the population doesn't give importance to emotional well-being. We know that we are stressed, but we will not, give importance to it. So we need to talk to the parent community and we need to give them a strategy on how to handle kids at home. Definitely parents will come up with different points that my child is like this at home. He behaves or she behaves in such a way, but at school, the child is behaving in a different way actually. So having an open forum discussion will definitely help the parent community to handle the kids at home when it comes to the emotional needs.
Okay. So what are some potential challenges or obstacles that schools might face while implementing these initiatives, and how can we overcome them?
Actually, the first thing is the parents will start questioning, is my child mentally okay or emotionally okay? Because as I told you, this is still considered as a stigma when you talk about your emotions. So some parents may not be ready to, make their child attend the assessment of when they check about the emotional well-being. That is the main challenge actually. So we have to take out that challenge. And that challenge will be taken out only when we have an open forum in the school. We have to talk to the parents first that we have a counselor at school. This is added policy. For example, our school follows that. We have a policy related to that. So we have to discuss that with the parent at first. We need to disclose that. There is no matter of maintaining it as a secret actually. So we should be open to them in discussing about this is what a school has. This is what our school does to meet the needs. So first, that is the challenge, like how to make the parents understand. And next is, as educators, we should also be able to understand certain things when it comes to the emotional well-being. So we should be open-minded in accepting, yes, I'm going through this. We need not, put it back and, go forward with work. So we need to address the issues like that. So definitely challenges will come in all the ways.
Right. So the last question to end the session, ma'am, if you want, can you share any real life examples of schools or in your career that you have successfully
Mm-hmm.
implemented emotional well-being initiatives?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, as I said, our school has, counselors. So what we do is, for example, when a student comes in for admissions, what we do is the first point is we ask the counselor to talk to the student. One interaction as a coordinator I do with the child for the academic needs. At the same time, the counselor will discuss, about the child. They will talk to the child and they will be able to assess the child's emotional health. So they will be giving us the feedback about that. So we have the records of all the child, and also our teachers are trained in such a way that before they train the kids academically, especially my teachers, my team, they address the students, they try to connect well with the students. So I have seen in different classes, and I'm really proud of my team because mostly what they do is they try to get what the child feels in. Daily they ask the child, they won't leave the child unless the child is answering the question, like why you are dull today, why you are not keeping well, like you are not active. So they try to find it out, and I've seen that to be very success because all my kids, they frankly open up with the teachers because that is what the connection they have made with the students. So that is the success I can tell you, because unless a child is not able to open up to the teachers, then that is a failure there. But what I have seen, even parents have appreciated us for that. Even the matters that the child fails to disclose at home, the child is very much frankly and confidently opening it to the teacher. So that is the success story I can share it with you.
Right, ma'am. As you mentioned, communication is the key factor. Right,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for the talk and for patiently answering all the questions. I know those were repetitive, but like I thank you to for sharing the knowledge on our platform, ma'am. And I thank the participant also. We will end the session now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.